All right, awesome. So, first up, Chris Camozzi. If you guys have any questions, please raise your hand. Let's go ahead and start with Tom Ward. Tom?
Hi, Chris. Tom Ward from Gimme Sport here. Just a bit of a question. You've had a bit of a layoff. What have you spent? What have you? What have you occupied your time with? What have you been doing?
Well, I think going through COVID, obviously worldwide, it made a lot of things different. But I took the time to build on a lot of things that I can't normally do when I'm in training camp. Because with my whole UFC career and other fights in the past, I was going fight to fight to fight. So I'd have a little layoff and then back into camp. So with a year off, I took time to build power, build speed. Work a lot on strength and conditioning. Now that I'm up at 205, I wanted to put on some size. And I just kind of went back and took the time that I didn't have before to work on things that I wanted to work. I also switched camps. I've got a whole new coaching staff this last year. And I think it's really going to pay off, and I think you guys will get to see it.
Obviously, you're facing the champ. How do you feel going straight back into the deep end? Are you kind of like looking forward to the challenge?
I am. He was a great champion. This is a new season. He did very well in the last one, and I think he's a great fighter. And that's kind of why I wanted that fight. With the tournament format, why not fight the toughest first? So I'm fresh, I'm healthy, I'm coming in first fight. I grew up wrestling when I was younger, and our coach would always, when we went to tournaments, he would always put us against the number one seed if we weren't the number one seed. And that was kind of his philosophy, was why not go after the toughest first?
Amazing. Good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Up next, Alex, Cage Side Press.
Hi, Chris. This is Alex from Cage Side Press. You fought at middleweight most of your career. I just wanted you to talk about the move to light heavyweight.
I was competing with Glory kickboxing at light heavyweight, which was actually 209 pounds, 209 pounds, sorry. And I started my career even at heavyweight, and then light heavyweight, middleweight. I've been all over the place. I fought heavyweight just because I couldn't find a light heavyweight opponent just before COVID. So for me, I've always been a big middleweight. This is my natural weight. I only cut about, I don't know, I'll walk around like 215 to 220. So it's an easy cut for me, especially closer and closer. I think I've got 3 or 4 pounds left. So this is my natural weight kind of that I train at all the time. So I feel great, and I don't have to deplete my body beforehand. The longer my career goes and the older I get, that cut was getting harder and harder. So I don't think I'm small for 205 at all. So I don't think there's a size disadvantage for me. I'm tall. And again, this past year I put on a lot more muscle, just doing strength and conditioning, explosive workouts. And I took that time to really build my power up and be ready for the light heavyweight division.
Awesome. Good luck.
Up next, Bobby Whitney.
Hey, Chris, how's it going? Bobby Whitney, Last Out Media. I wanted to know, I wonder if you caught any of the action last week, and then how does that prepare you going into this fight? You're fighting the champion, but as we saw last week, there are a lot of upsets in that cage. Not everything's going to go out the way people can write it down. Does that give you any more confidence going into your fight, seeing how anything's possible in that cage when you get those two fighters together?
I think it was interesting to see 2 double champions actually lose this last week. But their performance doesn't affect mine. Again, every fight is different. Everybody is different. I just have to stay focused on me. I don't need more confidence. I feel confident going into this. But I think PFL's done a great job at shaking up the roster. This season, every weight class I think is 10 times tougher than the past ones. They did their job with recruiting. Even when I look at my weight class, every single fight on there is tough. Whereas past seasons, no disrespect to any of those guys, but there were some lopsided matchups, I thought, in past seasons. And now this season, I think this is the toughest tournament in sports that we're going to see.
Thanks.
Up next, Tanai.
Hey Chris, Tanai Shah, MMA Island. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Ask you about your bubble experience. Obviously, it's a challenge for everybody, but how has it been in Atlantic City with the whole bubble experience?
I mean, it hasn't been the most pleasant. I mean, it's not ideal, but again, it's worse. There's worse that we could be in. I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to fight. So if I had to, I would do this for a year. Again, it's not ideal, but PFL has done their best to make this happen. And I appreciate all of them. Their staff has been working nonstop. You know, I feel bad for some of these guys. They're running all over the place. They're doing their hardest. You know, going forward in the future, I would love it if there was a few changes. If coaches could come in a little bit earlier. I've been out here by myself for the most part. No coaches or training partners. I'm just lucky that there's some other Colorado guys on the card and guys I've become friends with in the past. So we've all been training together. So the struggle is there for sure, but again, like I said, it could be worse. I think that struggle, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the struggle really helps motivates for fights. You know, I don't come from money or anything, so I've struggled my whole career coming up, and the struggle makes you hungry. So I'm just taking it as a good thing and using this to motivate me even more.
Awesome. One more question, if you don't mind. You said the guys from Colorado have been helping you out. How's it been training with those guys?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we train back home. So Nick Rorick is actually in the exact same tournament as me, same weight class. And we spar together and train together back home. We decided we're not fighting each other this fight, so we might as well just keep it the same. And if we cross that path, then we'll deal with it. And then I'd also like to say a big thank you to Joel Zeffirino and his team. You know, they've really taken me in, let me do jiu-jitsu with them, hitting pads. We've made it work. I'm still training super hard, just like I would at home. So it's been great, and I'm super fortunate and thankful for all the friends I have here.
Thank you, Chris. Good luck on Thursday, man.
Thank you.
Breeze?
Hey Chris, this is Breeze with MMA Breeze. My question for you is, you know, you're coming into PFL. This is going to be your first fight in PFL. Were you looking at any other organizations, and if so, what brought you to PFL, and what intrigued you the most about fighting for this organization?
I was, you know, I still have a good relationship with the UFC. I was in talks with Bellator. I'm still currently signed to Glory Kickboxing. So there were some other options on the table, but I really like the tournament format that PFL does. Each season has gotten better and better. The production value is great, and obviously that $1 million bonus at the end is a huge calling. So the fact that PFL is a tournament format and I can stay active was a big plus for me. You know, Bellator was telling me I might fight once a year. Where with the UFC, every fight I had, right when I was done, I was texting the matchmakers like, when can I fight again? We only have so long in this sport, and I'm not getting any younger, so I want to get as much out of this as I can. So the fact that it's a tournament, I know when my next fight is, and they're back to back, and I can stay busy and make some money.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nadim?
Hi Chris, it's Hamad Mir from MMA Diagnosis. I was just wondering, your opponent now, he's the PFL champion, and your experience now within Glory Kickboxing, do you feel like you have an edge in the stand-up experience, as both of you are stand-up fighters? Do you feel like you have the edge over the competition in this tournament with your recent kickboxing tournament?
I guess we're gonna find out real soon. You know, I've faced top competitors all over the world for a majority of my career now. Sorty does bring a lot of power. We've seen that in each fight. So there's definitely a puzzle to figure out. Just because I have a background in kickboxing and striking doesn't mean anything really. In the fight game, it's the hurt business, you know, it only takes one punch sometimes. But I just need to be really focused in there and on my game. I think if I'm on that night, then yes, I'm better, and we're gonna find out.
Thank you, Chris.
Mike Owens?
Hello Chris, this is Michael from Mike Owens Media. Your upcoming opponent, Emiliano Sorte, was the 2019 tournament winner. Now, obviously the belt won't be on the line on Friday night, but does this almost feel like a unofficial title fight for you?
I'm sorry, was the question, it was a little hard to understand.
Sorry, I'll speak slightly slower. Your upcoming opponent, Emiliano Sorde, was the 2019 tournament winner. Obviously, the belt won't be on the line on Friday night, but does this feel almost like an unofficial title fight for you?
It doesn't, actually. This is a tournament, so he is the defending champion, but the fact is, beating Emiliano Sordi, I just have more tough guys in mind, so I'm not going to be happy or content until this tournament's over. I can't get too high on myself if I beat him because there's a string of new guys in this tournament. So, I've done a lot of the mental work to really stay focused after this. Even with a big upset win, or if you guys want to call it an upset, with me beating Sordi, I got to stay focused and keep my head in the game because it's not over yet. This being the first round, I can beat him and see him again very soon. So I just have to stay, again, focused and not look too far ahead. It's not the title fight yet. There's a long way to go. So just keeping my mind in it and continuing forward.
Superb. Best of luck for Friday.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Hey, Chris. So my question is, when it comes to all the competitors in this division, who do you see would be the toughest matchup against you?
I think that's the matchup ahead of me, honestly. Like I said, Sordi's a very tough opponent. I look at him as, because he's the defending champion, he's the toughest guy in this tournament. He's already proven that, none of us that are in this tournament other than him have proved that he can go through the whole thing and win it. So right now, this is my toughest fight. And I do believe that he's probably the toughest guy in this tournament, aside from me.
Great. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mason?
Hi, Chris. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I just wanted to ask, after your stint in the kickboxing fights, apart from striking, what is the single biggest advantage that has given you the fight?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit at the end of that question.
After your stint in kickboxing, what is the biggest advantage that time has given you?
Again, the time has given me a chance to build things I wanted to. I've been working a ton of wrestling. I've kind of been working all over the place. But the biggest thing I wanted to build with my time off was power. I've always beat guys up in the past, but I've never had that crushing power. And I think working with my new boxing coach, Jake Ramos out of Genesis, he's really fine-tuned a lot of things, and I think I'm hitting 10 times harder, and I think it's going to be a surprise to a lot of these guys.
And what do you have that your opponent does not?
Oh man, again, I guess we're gonna find out. I haven't watched too much tape on him, honestly. I focused this entire camp on myself and just being a better fighter all around, because even after Emiliano, there's another guy and another guy and another guy. They're all different styles, so I just have to make sure that I'm on my best game. But I would guess that I'm a lot better on the ground. I was supposed to get my black belt this past year in jiu-jitsu. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 15 years, and I've been a brown belt for 8 years. And my jiu-jitsu feels great. I feel like I can roll with anybody in the world.
Best of luck on fight night.
Thank you.
Ronald?
Ronald?
Oh, I can't hear you, Ronald. I apologize.
Hello?
Okay, there you are.
Oh, there. Okay, let's do it again. Chris, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, look. Let's get real about this. My name is Ronald E. Smith. You brought up before that you had a struggle to get where you had. You had to struggle to get where you were, and you weren't given anything. So, what this tournament has at the end, what would it mean for you to win it all?
It would mean everything. Obviously, that $1 million is a huge life-changing moment, but for me, being world champion, that's a lifelong goal of mine. Money comes and goes, but being champion of PFL would be a huge mark on my career. I've got a really long career, and holding the belt in one of these top organizations is definitely a huge motivating factor for me. All in all, the whole thing would be life-changing for me.
Thank you, Chris.
Rod?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Yes. So Chris, Raz here from Everton MMA era. So there's been a lot of talk about this, 1 million prize. So I think I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. What's the first thing you buy that's extravagant if you win the PFL at the end of the season?
Extravagant? I don't know. I'm not a very extravagant person.
Okay.
I'm smart with my money, but I'll definitely do some traveling. Traveling and fighting are two of my favorite things to do, and I think I'll need a break from fighting by that time. So I'll definitely, hopefully, with all this COVID stuff, everything's open back up, and I can travel a bit, see the world. It's always been a goal of mine to go to every country in the world, and so far I've checked off a ton of them, but there's plenty more.
Okay, and just to follow up on that, any kind of best possible outcome now for Thursday? Obviously the win is the main focus, but are you going to be trying to push for the finish?
Absolutely. In this tournament, winning's not enough. It's got to be finishes. You can win both fights by decision and not make the playoffs. Best case scenario for me is to go in there and finish without getting punched. It's not always likely, but it wouldn't be my first time. I've finished plenty of fights without ever taking a single shot. So, I'd love to say that's best case scenario right there.
And would you have a round prediction maybe?
If that's my best case scenario, it'd probably have to be round one. I'm no Floyd Mayweather in there. Let's be honest. I get hit a lot. So I don't think I'm making it more than one round without getting hit. So if I'm going for best case scenario, it'd have to be round one.
Cool. Thank you.
Last question for Drew.
Hey, Chris, this is Drew Pierce from FightLeague.com. Some early gambling odds put you at plus 285 to win. Do you believe that you're really that big of an underdog, or is that kind of from a lot of the hype that your opponent is the former champ?
I love it. I won't lie to you. I like gambling on sports. So keep me as the dog. Let my friends make some money.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Chris.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Up next, we will be bringing in Ray Cooper. Just give us 1 second. Also, just a quick reminder, please raise your hand if you have a question, and also introduce yourself when I call on you. Okay. Up next, we have Mr. Ray Cooper. All right. Let's go ahead and start with Tariq.
What's going on, Ray? This is Tariq from the Havoc Hour. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, so really quick, obviously, Rory McDonald was the first major signing that PFL had for this coming season. But, with you being the champion in that season, second season, you've been to the championship round 2 years in a row. You feel like that there's some slight that they're all kind of picking him to be the favorite to win it this year?
Yeah, a little bit, but I really don't care. You guys all saw what happened with Pettis, so I don't think his signing matters any much. I'm the main event. I'm the one in the division that brings the fans in it that everybody wants to watch. So I ain't really worried about him, and yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Harry Mack.
Hey Ray, Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. I hope all is well. So I just wanted to ask you, you're actually the biggest gambling favorite on this week's card at minus 590 right now. So I wanted to know if you feel like Vegas being so certain that you're going to walk away with a win adds any pressure to the fight.
Yeah, I really don't pay attention to the betting and yeah, I really don't know, but I can come out there to finish my opponent, and that's how I fight every time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Andrew Benjamin. All right, Andrew, we will come back to you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Hey Ray, this is Andrew with MMA Sucker. Just curious to know, what did you do during this time off? This near, basically a year off. Did you focus on any other aspects of martial arts, or did you do anything personally in your life, or discover any new hobbies? Yeah, just talk about your time off.
Yeah, I just been doing nothing, just cruising. With everything shut down, I just got time to spend with my family and my two kids that I got. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And yeah, I picked up some hobbies. I ride dirt bike planning, so that's pretty much the only thing I did.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Up next, Breeze.
Hey, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. I wanted to ask you in regards to being the champion of the last season and coming in with the off season and now here, in terms of your mindset, do you feel as hungry as you were when you won it, or do you feel a little more hungry now that you have the pressure on? Talk about that.
I'm always hungry to fight and compete, especially with these new guys that came over. So I'm always hungry. I'm always hungry to finish my opponent, and yeah, it's the same thing from when I first started till now. The end goal is getting to the title and winning it.
Cool. Thank you.
Up next, Mike Owens.
Hello, Ray. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. Your upcoming opponent is around about a 4-1 underdog, and we saw a lot of upsets in the first week of this PFL season. With that being said, is there anything specific you feel like you can do to not let the underdog surprise you on Thursday night?
Yeah, I just can fight how I always fight, and even though people saying he's an underdog, I don't treat him as just another opponent on a high level opponent, and I can give him everything I get, and I can go out there and finish him.
Superb. Best of luck for Thursday.
Thank you.
Up next, let's go with Nadeem.
Hi, Ray. It's Hamad Mir from MMA Diagnosis. I was just wondering, last year you won the in 2019 you won the PFL tournament. How life-changing was that $1 million paycheck for you, considering you have 5 kids and big family?
It was all right. It really wasn't nothing much, but it was good to have my family secured, and yeah, just to take care of my family, and it wasn't that life changing. It was just security that I have now. I can train and do this full time, and without no worry, and I'm looking to keep doing that.
Following up to that, did you buy anything nice for yourself with that paycheck? Did you treat yourself?
A little bit, yeah. Bought some dirt bikes. I like to trail ride, and so just spending time with my kids, and yeah.
Thank you, Ray. Good luck for your upcoming fight.
Thank you.
Up next, Alex Kingston.
Hi, Ray. This is Alex from K-Side Press. In your 20 wins, you have a 100% finish rate. Just simply, do you look to continue your 100% finish rate?
Yeah, go in there to finish every time. I don't go out there to win a decision. I go out there to finish guys anyway I can.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Brady Austin.
Hello, it's Brady Austin from Behind the Grind. And will you be looking to take the fight to the ground as your opponent has 10 submission losses?
I can go wherever the fight goes. I dictate the pace of the fight and how we fight. My wrestling is on high level, and my stand up is on high level. So I really don't care where his losses is. I can go in there to fight him wherever I choose to.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Roz. You're on mute, bud.
Sorry, guys. This is Raz from MMA Era. Right. So, as a finisher, you already have the fastest knockout in PFL history. As a competitor, you've already been there, kind of done that. Kind of moving forward this year, what's in store for us from yourself? And in terms of a challenge, what do you see as your biggest challenge this year?
I don't see anything as one big challenge. I just like my rematch with Magomed, and yeah, there's I can do the same thing I always do. I can mix them up more, and I'm gonna finish guys, and I'm gonna go in there and play point fighting, and I think I'm gonna be the most exciting one because I can go in there to finish my opponent, not play patty cake.
And do you feel with these new kind of, latest editions and the guys who have, the MMA following and the experience, do you feel like you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder to kind of prove that, this is your division and this is your promotion?
No, not really. I just can make a statement that you guys wasting your time with these new guys, so I'm coming there and I'm gonna finish all of them.
Confident words. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Suki.
Hey, Ray, Suki from Suki MMA. I feel like you carry yourself very humbly, but when you look at your PFL record, I mean, pound for pound, do you consider yourself one of the best fighters in this entire organization right now?
Yes, I feel like I'm one of the if not the best, because I go out there to finish, guys. I don't know how much time I gotta keep saying that. I go out there to finish and put on exciting fights, and I live by the sword, so that's just the way I fight.
Thank you.
Simon.
Hey, Ray, Simon Simano from MMA Junkie. Hey, as a former champion in this welterweight division, and now you have a former Bellator champion and UFC title holder and Rory McDonald entering the equation this year for the first time. There's a lot of excitement and hype around him as a guy who might be the front runner, so to speak, or the favorite to win this thing. How do you take that as a guy who's won this regular season tournament before? Do you take exception to that?
Yeah, it's kind of like my first season in the tournament. Everybody thought Jake was gonna win, and then I stomped him twice. So I'm gonna do the same thing to Roy if we do meet again, or if he even makes it to the season, because we gotta fight. I think what is it, every 6 weeks or 5 weeks. So we'll see how his body holds up, and we're gonna see how mentally tough all these other fighters that have to fight four times within 6 months. So I did it twice. I get 10 fights already within these 2 years. So we'll see how tough these guys is.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Mason.
Hi, Ray. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How are you doing today?
How's it going, man?
I just wanted to ask, what is the biggest advantage that you have over your opponent going into this fight?
I don't know. I think my tenacity that I'm gonna push the fight, and my conditioning. I think that gonna be my biggest weapons, and for push the fight.
Thanks, Ray. Best of luck fight night.
Thank you.
All right, Alex.
Oh, sorry, I just forgot to lower my hand.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyone have any final questions for Ray? Let's go ahead with Daniel.
Hey, how's it going, Ray? This is Dan from Cage My IQ. How have you handled the quarantine in Atlantic City since you got there? And then what do you expect from your opponent this Thursday?
The quarantine was kind of nuts. Just being in there for like, what, 17 days. I mean, it was kind of irking, but whatever. But yeah, what was the second part of your question?
What do you expect from your opponent this Thursday? Anything specific that you're training about?
No, I haven't watched him. I know he's a kickboxer, so he probably gonna try to run around the cage and try to point fight me. So if he does that, then I'm just gonna chase him down, and then if he keeps running, I'm gonna put him on his back and finish him there.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you.
Alex, if you have a final question.
Yeah. Hi, Ray. This is Alex from KTI Press again. I just want to know if you happen to watch Max Holloway's performance in January and kind of what your thoughts were on it.
Yeah, Max's fight was awesome. Yeah, the Hawaii boys. I think we get the best stand up, and Max is proven it time and again that his stand up is the best in the featherweight division, and yeah, he looked awesome, and then that's what happens when you try to hype up somebody against a Hawaii boy. You're seeing that we know how to stand up, and they get some good boxing, but Hawaii boys get the best boxing and the best stand up there is around the world. So next time you think about talking about that, you should really remember to back them up, because you can get hands to your face.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much, Ray.
Thank you.
All right, guys, just give us a second. We are going to be bringing up Tom Lawler. If you have any questions for Tom, please go ahead and start raising your hand. Also, remember to introduce yourself.
Can't see me, right? Right now.
Tom Lawler, everyone. All right, let's start the first question off to Tom Ward.
Tom. Hey, Tom. It's Tom Ward from Give Me Sport. You've had a bit of a long layoff. What have you spent your time doing?
Mostly partying, drinking a lot. No, I had my last fight in 2018. Unfortunately, in that fight, I suffered a pretty bad hand break on my left hand, and it kept me out of action for a while, a lot longer than I had anticipated. I signed a contract with the PFL. I want to say like 3 days before we had this major shutdown last year. So that added another year of inactivity to my career, but it's not something that I had planned on. In the meantime, I was luckily able to continue my professional wrestling career and make some waves in that avenue. But the goal was always to get back to this opportunity, to get to the PFL and the 2021 season. So I've been active, maybe not in the sport that most people, associate me with, but the professional wrestling that I do is more like MMA than a lot of the professional wrestling I think people are familiar with. So I've been in the gym the entire time. I've been training consistently since 1997. So business as usual.
My final question to you is a bit of a short notice opponent change. You've come through a lot of adversity in your career. Are you ready for the challenge?
If I wasn't, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today. I don't have time to waste in my life, and I'm certainly not here to waste the PFL's time. of course I'm ready for the challenge, and you'll see that on Thursday.
Amazing. Best of luck Thursday.
Thank you.
Up next, Barcelona.
Yeah. Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, good. Thank you. Hey, so Major League Wrestling, you talked a little bit about the wrestling. What has that been like? And I know King Mo is there. We're seeing the crossover between MMA fighters and pro wrestlers. Do you think we're going to see more of that?
You know, I answer this question very frequently, and I myself hold a degree in history from the University of Central Florida. So I always do my research, and if you do the same, you'll realize that ever since there's been combat sports, there's been crossover between professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts has only been around for, 30 years or so in the United States, but that doesn't mean that there weren't people, who consider themselves professional wrestlers who were fighting in, non-predetermined bouts. If you want to go back and look at the infancy of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that was because that there were professional wrestlers going to Brazil and doing what would equate to MMA fights at the time, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came out of that. So we can go back thousands of years. There's always been crossover. Now that mixed martial arts is kind of captured the imagination, I guess you could say, of fans and people in the U.S., there's more techniques. There's more, people are more willing to accept submission wrestling and ground fighting. And you kind of see that crossover into professional wrestling techniques as well. So, there's always been a crossover. There's always going to be a crossover, but not everybody can do it well. But I can.
And lastly, for me, how does it work with PFL and MLW? Is it a good situation for you because both companies, you're able to plan your schedule? It's easier to plan a schedule being with both companies?
Well, it's actually been easier because of the pandemic. Really, I had anticipated, trying to juggle it as much as I could. But there was going to be a time where, I was going to have to step away from the professional wrestling ring in order to get ready for a fight. Now, over the past year, obviously with the shutdown, there were no PFL events. I was able to stay in the gym the entire time. And there was also, there were professional wrestling events, but they were a lot more sparse than they were in the past. So the biggest issue with professional wrestling and mixed martial arts is the travel and the wear and tear on your body from professional wrestling always being on the road. When I signed the contract that I have with MLW now, I made 100% sure that I had clauses in there that allowed me to fight. So if people thought that I was, moving completely into one avenue with professional wrestling, I mean, the front office at MLW, Court Bauer, MSL, they could tell you that that wasn't the case. I was, adamant that I had clauses put in there that would allow me to fight, and here I am.
Well, and then lastly, is Filthy Island better than Fight Island?
Absolutely. I would even say the bubble at the ocean is better than Fight Island in my opinion. I don't know if it holds a candle to Filthy Island. We haven't gotten our spam here in the bubble yet. But yeah, definitely it's Filthy over Fight Island for sure.
Thank you.
All right, next question, Dylan.
Hey there, Tom. How's it going?
Good.
Just wanted to congratulate you on becoming the first ever NJPW strong open weight champion there.
Thank you. I'd be lying if I said that was not a goal of mine it's a new title, but being in that New Japan ring, the cerulean blue, as it's known, has been a goal of mine dating back 16 years, the first time I stepped into a pro wrestling ring, and really before that. So thank you.
No, I think it's a perfect fit for what you bring to the table, man. But to that point, is the plan to concurrently go back and forth between wrestling and MMA, or just sole focus on the rigorous PFL season the rest of the year?
My plan is pretty much the same as it's been my entire life. I like to look at what's directly in front of me. I haven't done too well with long-term goals. It always seems like when you plan something out in my life for long term in the future, things don't go that way. Things never go to plan. So I like to look at short-term goals. I have a fight in front of me on Thursday that I'm, focused on. That's my biggest worry. And then again, June 17th. So I'm full steam ahead into the PFL season. You can ask me that question after those two fights are done, and perhaps I'll have a different answer. But right now, it's all about the PFL.
Fair enough, man. Thanks for the time.
Yep.
Up next, Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Gate in Real Time. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, man, I can't complain. You've been fighting since 2007, and for all that, that's a long career. And with the ups and downs that goes with it, what has kept the fire burning inside of you?
A lack of other job skills.
I get that so well. And knowing that too, man, you've also been able to split with wrestling. And a lot of people, even to this day, even when you talked about it, still give that a side eye. What is it about with wrestling that makes you enjoy it so much?
Well, like I said, earlier, the type of professional wrestling that I do, that I enjoy, is more based in mixed martial arts. It's based in combat. When I was, if we want to go back like 20 years, when I really, really started getting into MMA, I was ordering tapes from Japan, rings events, pride events in its early infancy. And there were a lot of crossover between professional wrestlers and mixed martial arts. And, there was crossover in the techniques then as well. And that's what always has appealed to me. I've been a fan of professional wrestling, of boxing, of kickboxing, of virtually any type of combat, sumo wrestling, arm wrestling, X-arm. I mean, you could name it, moat fighting, whatever. I love one-on-one competition. There's just something about it that is so much pure, so much more intense than team sports. And, that's what's kind of drawn me in. There's nothing more primal than getting into the cage one-on-one with somebody. And there's nothing, that appeals to me more than that. The fact that I've been able to make a living by getting in there and fighting somebody for the past, my first fight was 2003 actually, but for the past 18 years is pretty awesome when you look at it. I have a lot of friends who have desk jobs, who live what I would consider to be pedestrian lives. And I don't fit that mold. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Up next, Alex, Cage Side Press.
Hey, Tom, it's Alex from K-Star Press. How are you?
Great. Well fed.
I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts on your opponent Antonio Carlos Jr.? He was a former ranked UFC fighter. He's coming in to prove something. You're coming in to prove something. Kind of talk about the matchup.
Yeah. People say it's a short notice opponent change, or I had an opponent change from Jordan Johnson, who I was set to face. But Antonio Carlos Jr. isn't somebody who's coming off the shelf. He's been active the past year. He's a phenomenal jiu-jitsu competitor. He is a phenomenal ground fighter. He is very, very tough to finish. I think he's only been finished once in his career, which unfortunately means I may have to fight 15 minutes, which sucks. But I'm more than prepared to do so. He's fought as high as heavyweight. He won Tough Brazil at heavyweight. But, then he moved his way down, was fighting at 205, fighting at 185. My first fight in 2003 was at heavyweight. Then I was fighting at 205. Then I was down at 185. And now we both meet back here at 205. If you look at it from the outside, it's clear to see what the game plan should be. On my end, like I said, was a world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, I don't think I'm giving away any secrets here. I hope he hears this. I hope he sees this. I hope he reads this. I don't plan on going to the ground with him. I plan on getting 6 points before it even hits there.
Awesome, and good luck.
Breeze.
Hey, this is Breeze from the MMA Breeze. I wanted to ask, how coming back into fighting and performing in MMA, were you approached by any other organizations or entertaining going anywhere other than the PFL? And if so, what brought you to the PFL specifically?
Yeah, I've had opportunities. I've had things thrown my way over the past few years. I was offered a Lethway fight. There was a little bit of talk with some bare knuckle organizations, and I love fighting. I love combat. I don't know what to say. I absolutely love it. It's the only thing that I think about on like a daily basis that makes me happy to do as a living. There's $1 million on the line. I don't know what other chance I'm gonna have at this point in my life to make that money, especially not doing something that I want to do. I could go get a job. I could go work at the plant in Amazon for our overlords. I could, sit behind a desk all day. I could go dig ditches or something, but none of that appeals to me. What appeals to me first and foremost is getting in that cage and fighting somebody. Now, the fact that I can make, a good chunk of change off of that, well, that's great. And the fact that there's $1 million at the end of this, that's even better. So it's a no-brainer. My wife has stuff that she wants to buy. She wants to get like a fire pit for the backyard, stuff like that. My kids want, a new Pokemon game. My daughter was crying yesterday because I didn't want to buy her the $25 Angela Kitty Cat game on the iPad. So when I get that $1 million, that won't be an issue. And that's one of the driving factors here.
Awesome. Good luck, man.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Tom. Appreciate you coming out.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Up next, we are bringing in Jordan Young, light heavyweight. If you have questions for Jordan, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll go ahead and start off with Terry Mack.
Hey Jordan, so before this Thursday's fight, you were 6-1 in Bellator. So I just kind of wanted to know what was the driving factor behind the move to PFL?
I was 7-1 in Bellator, and
I apologize.
You're good, sir. It's just numbers. I like the PFL. I like their format. I like what they stand for. Everything is earned and not given. There's less politics in this organization, and it's more about what you do in the actual fight, and I enjoy that.
Got it. Thank you very much. Best of luck Thursday.
Up next, let's go with Ross.
Hello, can you hear me? Sorry guys, just trying to get a hang of this. So you're obviously a clear favorite for your upcoming bout against Finney. Kind of how do you see that? How do you see these odds? Do you pay attention to them, and kind of what should we be expecting on Thursday with recent upsets at PFL 1?
Do you have the odds in front of you? Do you know what they are?
Not at the moment, sir. No.
I haven't seen them myself either. I think that I'm a better MMA fighter than Vinny. He's a great jiu-jitsu fighter, but this is MMA, and there's many facets to the game, and I think that I will show the difference between MMA and jiu-jitsu come Thursday night.
Okay, thank you. Best of luck.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Jordan. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. There's a lot of big names signed to the light heavyweight tournament this year. With that being said, do you feel like you're flying under the radar in terms of fans' impressions?
I think if I am flying under the radar, I won't be come Thursday, after Thursday. And if I am flying under the radar right now, I think that's a mistake. I'm the youngest guy in the division. I'm faster than all these guys, and I have better footwork and mobility than all these guys. That's not to disrespect them. They're all veterans of the game, but they are older, and some of them have been weathered. Some of them have the book on how to beat them already written. And there's a couple tough guys. I will give them their respect.
Superb. Thanks for your time and good luck for Thursday.
Hey Jordan, Tanai from MMA Island. So just to let you know the odds, you guys are even money at -113 apiece. Obviously you have 9 submission wins and Vinny has 16. Who do you think has a better jiu-jitsu game?
I think he's competed at a higher level in jiu-jitsu, if we're just being honest. But I think that I have the skill set to finish anybody with jiu-jitsu, including Vinny. But I don't necessarily care to test that out. This is a tournament, and it's very important that I establish myself in the PFL. And there's many other ways to beat Vinny.
Thanks for the honesty, man. Good luck on Thursday.
Up next, Alex Gateside.
Hi, Jordan. This is Alex from Stateside Press. So you suffered your first professional loss in your last fight, and it's always fascinating to me how athletes bounce back from that. I guess, did that loss fuel you, or are you just happy to get that 0 off your record so you don't have to like kind of be asked about it every interview?
You only get paid half your money when you lose. Never excited to lose the 0. But with that being said, shit happens, and I think that I'm in great position to show my full skill set. I needed surgery after that fight. That's neither here nor there. The kid fought a good fight that beat me, but I wasn't at my 100%, and I know that in my heart. So the loss doesn't bother me, and I know what I'm capable of.
Awesome, and good luck.
Breeze.
Hey Jordan, this is Breeze with the MMA Breeze. You haven't fought in a while. You've had a little bit of a layoff like a lot of people here during the COVID times. What have you improved on the most in your layoff, and what are you most excited about to display in this upcoming tournament?
I've improved on my athleticism. I've improved on my mindset, and I've improved in every area of the game. 2020 was unfortunate, of course, with the pandemic, but for me, I had just had a major surgery, so it actually worked out in my benefit in terms of recovering and being able to focus on my game. I started fighting professionally at 19 years old, so I didn't really have too much time to take a step back from live competition and try to round some things out that maybe I need to work on. So I've had a little bit of time in 2020 to do that. First time in my career.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Mason.
Hi, Jordan. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How you doing?
My man.
You're a very good submission fighter. Do you think we'll see a submission victory for yourself come Thursday night?
Absolutely not. I'm going to show different skill sets in this fight, and Vinny would love for me to try to submit him, but he's absolute hot garbage in other areas of the game, and we'll show that come Thursday.
And finally, what would a PFL title mean to you?
7 figures.
Best of luck Thursday night, my man.
Thank you, brother.
Drew Pierce.
Hey, Jordan, Drew Pierce, FightLeague.com. I know you're a guy who likes nice things. What are some things that you're going to buy with that $1 million if you get it?
The first thing I'm going to buy is some land. Let's get a couple, maybe 2-3 acres underneath myself, and we'll start working on building a house. And then, we'll go to the mall after that. But priorities first this time around.
Thanks, man. Best of luck.
My man.
Barcelona.
Hey, Jim Barcelone, Miami Herald. Jordan, what has it been like for you at American Top Team and just having the coaches and trainers there and working out there and being a part of that team?
Miami Herald, the whole team, the home team. It's great to hear from you. American Top Team is the best gym in the world. They've really taken care of me, and the transition from being a young fighter in the game to, I'm not a veteran now, but I'm much more seasoned, and being able to train with the best coaches and training partners in the world has definitely helped elevate me outside of my live competition. Every day in the gym is like a fight.
And lastly, Jordan, what has it been like for you too in South Florida, and just what have you learned about yourself in this last year? It's been a challenging year for everybody.
That I'm resourceful and I know how to hustle. I never fell off my feet. 2020 was definitely tough, as it was for everybody. I had to find ways to adapt, to continue to stay on my grind, and be able to provide for myself with no MMA taking place. And I was able to do just that. And it didn't teach me anything new, but more so reaffirmed what I already knew about myself, that I'm resilient and I'll always find a way.
Thank you.
My man.
Nadine.
Hi, Jordan. It's Hamad Mia from MMA Diagnosis. I was just wondering, the last few tournaments they've had in the playoffs, 2 fights in one night. Does a competitor in you kind of wish they had that this year, or are you kind of glad that there's no 2 fights in one night this year?
Yeah, I enjoyed the old tournaments of MMA, Pride, and many other tournaments that they had. And fighting twice in one night definitely shows you something about yourself, and it also shows the world something about you. So I was looking forward to testing myself in that, but I won't complain on a shorter path to 7 figures.
Following up to that, you mentioned you had injury and you had major surgery. What was the injury, and how was the road to recovery for now? Was the kind of layoff you had a blessing in disguise?
The layoff was definitely a blessing. I had a major hip surgery. I believe I had 2 or 3 procedures done at one time, and the rehab from the surgery was well. I took my time in 2020. I have the best physical therapist in the game, Dr. Christiana Marin in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she helped me take care of my injury and rehab it back to 100%.
All right. Thank you, Jordan, and good luck.
Brady.
Hi, it's Brady Austin from Behind the Grind. And despite you being far less experienced in MMA, do you feel more prepared for these bigger fights because of your Bellator run?
In Bellator, I fought 8 times, and that was definitely a upper echelon show. I don't think that I fought the level of competition that I asked for, or anybody that would compare to people in this tournament. But with that being said, I feel that although I have a smaller record than some of these guys, I've been in the best gym in the world, and I've been in the MMA gym period since I was 15 years old. So if you add up all those rounds, I feel I'm more composed and more well-rounded than some of these guys. So that counts for something.
Thank you very much.
Dylan.
Hey there, Jordan. How's it going?
My man, how you doing, Dylan?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm just kind of curious here because with some prior promotions you've been with, a little more nebulous in terms of matchmaking, just on a fight-to-fight basis, but with a more active and defined PFL schedule being in place. I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on that dynamic.
I think, if you look back in my 8 fights in Bellator, I lost 1 fight out of those 8, and the other 7, I came out of each of those 7 fights completely healthy on the other side and ready to go again. There was many times where I tried to get back-to-back action like what I'm going to experience this year, and it just didn't time out for me in Bellator. Luckily for me, that's the format here in the PFL.
Yeah, and I'm curious, like what you've been training to in the gym. One of the prior interviews we've had rather, you were talking about jamming to like Kevin Gates and Lil Uzi Vert. Is that what you've been mostly jamming in preparation for this one?
Yeah, Kevin's been dropping great music. I also have been listening to a little bit of Dave East, a little bit of East Coast vibes. I like to listen to whatever music of the area I'm going to be fighting in. Since we're fighting here in New Jersey, I've been listening to some East Coast artists to get that feel.
Oh, that's a cool touch, man. Appreciate the time.
My man.
Andrew Benjamin.
Hey, Jordan. Andrew with MMAsucker.com. Curious to know, how do you feel that you'll be competing with no crowd since the majority of your career has been in front of a crowd? I'm just curious to know, how do you feel about that type of environment?
I'm excited. I think it brings it a step closer to being just like another day. Something that, me and my coaching staff say before the fights is that this is just another 15 minutes out of my day. It's just another day. And no crowd is kind of like the gym, and you'll be able to hear your coaches. You'll be able to hear the strikes. And I like to talk during my fights. I think that with so many people in the crowd and all the yelling and whatnot, it kind of gets drowned out. And maybe the cameras will be able to pick up on that.
Sorry, just clarify. When you say talk, you mean like talking to your opponent, or try to get into your side of the cage and talking to your coaches? Could you just clarify what you mean by that?
I talk straight to my opponent. I let him know exactly what I think during the fight. During this fight, I have a little bet with my coach. Let's see how fast we can make Vinny shoot in the first round for a takedown. And, I'm guessing he does it in under 120 seconds.
Great. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Hey, Jordan, Tanai from MMA Island again. Could you tell us how your experience has been at the PFL bubble, Atlantic City? How's it treating you?
Extremely well. It's a business trip. I'm very focused on myself and what I need to do to be locked in come Thursday night. I think they've been doing the best they can, and I've been noticing the tweaks they make as time has been going on. This is something that's not only new for the fighters, but new for them as a promotion. And over time things have been improving, and I'm excited to come back out here for my second fight. I think that they will have the logistics down even better, and the bubble will be even more improved.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, Jordan.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, Jordan? Suki over here. I just wanted to, I had a bunch of questions about American Top Team in your camp, but, these guys are coming off of one of the biggest camps they've had with Jorge Masvidal. Do you have any personal connection, professional connection to that? How'd you feel about that fight there?
I did not like to see that for George. I've helped George out in a couple of his camps. I helped him for the Donald Cerrone camp, and I was his main sparring partner for the Darren Till fight. We had successful outcomes on both of those fights, and George has been somebody that I've been able to look up to for advice, not only in the fight game, but outside of fighting in general life. So he's somebody I hold a big respect for, and I was wanting to see him grab that title, but this won't be the end for him. He's a real fighter, and I know he'll be right back.
Well said. Thank you, Jordan.
All right, last question. Let's go, Tariq.
Hey, how you doing, brother? It's Tariq from the Havoc Hour. Just wanted to ask here, you sound confident going into this fight against Vinny. Have you watched a lot of film on him, particularly like the last season in PFL?
Yeah, I looked at the last couple fights. I think that if you look at Vinny's fights in the PFL, when he wins, it's in the first round. He's not taking guys into the second, third round and getting submissions. And when he does win, it's by submission. He had kicked Brandon Halsley, but he gets zero credit from that for me. I was there that night, and I also would kick Brandon Halsley in the head. So, I think that I know exactly what to expect from Vinny, and I think I know exactly what to bring to the table to stop that from happening and to impose my game plan.
Sounds good, man. Hey, good luck this Thursday, man.
My man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan. Appreciate it. All right, up next, we are bringing in Mr. Sorty.
¿Mejor? No te necesito.
Okay, raise your hand if you have a question.
Okay.
Let's go with Harry Mack.
Hey, Emiliano, Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. I hope all is well. So I just wanted to ask you, you're on a 5-fight winning streak, all 5 finishes. Do you think that we see you add to that finish streak on Thursday?
Tuviste 5 peleas el año pasado, las terminaste las 5. ¿Crees que vas a terminar este viernes también?
Siempre finalizo todas mis peleas. Las 23 peleas ganadas que tengo, todas fueron igual. Y creo que voy a tratar de hacer lo mismo este torneo.
In my 23 professional fights, I finished all of my opponents, and this Thursday night, I'm going to do the same.
Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Up next, Jamie.
Saludos, Jaime Barrios de MMA Fan 507. Saludos de Panamá, Emiliano. Emiliano, la semana pasada los dos campeones recibieron la sorpresa de salir derrotados. ¿Cómo ves tu pelea el día jueves en contra del experimentado Chris Camozzi?
Sí, vi que los dos perdieron, pero bueno, para mí eso no tiene nada que ver. Peleas son peleas. No creo en supersticiones ni nada por el estilo. Les tocó perder, fue lo que les tocó. Yo entrené duro para ganar, pero bueno, peleas son peleas. Voy a dar todo de mí.
Gracias.
So the question was, this last Friday night, we saw both champions be defeated. How do you take that into account going into your fight this Thursday? And the answer was that he trains his best for every single fight, and that this Thursday night he's going to have his shot to get a victory.
Up next, Mason.
Hi there, this is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. I just wanted to know, how does it feel to be fighting again after such a long layoff?
¿Cómo se siente estar peleando finalmente después de un año sin pelear?
Oh, it passed a long time outside of my work. after my last season, I'm back to Argentina. I'm keeping locked in my house for 7 months. It's really hard for me, but I'm so happy. I'm back to my work.
And finally, what do you have that your opponent does not?
¿Qué es lo que tú tienes que tu oponente no tiene?
I don't know. So my opponent is good. He's maybe 40 fights, 40 or 45 fights. He's good fighter. He's I don't know. He's a striker like me. Maybe I have more power, no? So more knockouts, more aggressive. But again, fight is fight.
Thank you for your time and best of luck come fight night.
Buena suerte.
Thank you.
Hi Emiliano, it's Hamad Mia from MMA Diagnosis. You're the 2019 PFL champion. I read that you, with the money that you won, you helped people in your hometown in Argentina. Could you elaborate a bit more into that?
Yo escucho con el dinero que ganaste en 2019 ayudaste a la gente de tu pueblo. Quiero saber un poco más de cómo les ayudaste.
En español más fácil. Hubo un pequeño malentendido con las entrevistas. Ellos dijeron que yo puse $1 millón y yo no puse $1 millón. Solamente puse una parte. Pero bueno, la situación económica de Argentina es muy mala. Así que con lo que pude, yo, mis amigos y algunos compañeros de entrenamiento, ayudamos a una parte de nuestra ciudad.
So he says that there was a slight misunderstanding with the media, that there was a misunderstanding with him using all of the $1 million purse to, help the people of his community in Argentina, but he did put a good portion of the amount that he was able to contribute to his small country, his small city in Argentina.
Thank you, Emiliano.
Up next, Tariq.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tariq from the Havoc Hour. Just wanted to know, we saw in season 2 that you were absolutely dominant en route to winning the championship. And now in season 3, do you feel like there's even really a challenge for you in the field this season?
¿Sientes que tú tienes como oponentes difíciles este año?
I don't know. Same, maybe more wrestlers this year, no? But I don't know. It's again, no. It's fight, no. Maybe the more more experience is Chris Carmusi, no? My free fight. It's same, no. Fight is fight.
Sounds good, man. Hey, good luck this Thursday.
Thank you.
Up next, Tanai.
Hey Emiliano, Tanai from MMA Island. I don't know if you watch soccer, football or not, but the Copa America starts June 13th. Do you think that the great Leo Messi is going to bring this one home to Argentina?
Ya me empezará la Copa América. ¿Tú crees que Messi va a traer una victoria para Argentina?
Yeah, I think but I don't like soccer, man. It's only Argentinians do not like soccer. It's me.
All right, sounds good. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Up next, Ronald Smith.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real Champ. All I got to ask you is, you just brought up how you were locked up just like everybody else. So how were you able to keep yourself motivated during the lockdown?
En el año que estabas en casa en cuarentena, ¿cómo estabas motivado para entrenar?
I have my mental coach. I working with him every single day, but for me it's so difficult. I don't like the pressure, man. I stay in 7 months or 8 months in my house, locked. I can't training. I can't doing nothing, man. It's hard.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Emiliano. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. As you mentioned earlier, you have 100% finish rate in your career. With that being said, do you feel like your style is suited to this PFL formula, where you are awarded points based upon quick finishes?
Tú has terminado todas tus peleas. Entonces, ¿tú sientes que tu estilo de pelear está mejor para PFL porque tú agarras más puntos cuando agarras una victoria rápida?
Sí, es perfecto para mí. Creo que por mi estilo de pelea es el evento perfecto por la sumatoria de puntos. Igual no es que yo busco sumar puntos, sino que mi estilo de pelea es ese. No, simplemente es natural para mí.
He says yes, the point system gives him the extra points, but he doesn't necessarily go out for the points, but he just finds the knockout every single time he goes out there.
Thank you. Good luck for Thursday.
Hello, my name is Kimmy. I am currently a student at Full Sail University. I was just wondering, what has life been like for you in the bubble?
Es un estudiante de universidad y quiere saber cómo es la vida aquí en la burbuja de PFL.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's 17 days locked here. It's only, I stay maybe 20 hours in my room. Only 2 or 3 hours for training, 1 hour for eat. I don't like it.
Thank you so much.
All right, Roz.
This is Raz from Everton MMA era. You mentioned you're not a big fan of the bubble. So what have been the main activities that keep you positively moving through your day and keeps you motivated for your training and the potential fight on Thursday?
Tú dijiste que no te gusta mucho estar aquí, pero ¿qué son las cosas o actividades que tú haces para estar motivado o estar feliz en tus tiempos ahí encerrado?
I'm training 2 times for days, in the morning and the night, and one or two training with my mental coach, and looking film, videos, documentaries.
What documentaries do you watch?
I like a history, man.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Daniel?
This is Dan from Cage My IQ. How's it going? What have you done since you won the tournament in 2019 to improve yourself? I know it's kind of hard to improve when you've won it before, but have you made any adjustments since then?
¿Qué has hecho para mejorar tu juego de artes marciales mixtas desde el 2019 que ganaste?
Como continué entrenando duro la parte física, si bien estuve encerrado en mi casa, tengo un gimnasio donde podía entrenar la parte de fuerza y potencia, que eso nunca lo dejé de hacer, y mi entrenamiento mental, que es cada vez más fuerte también.
For the last year, he's had a gym inside of his home, so he's been able to train. So anything physical, he's kept improving ever since the lockdowns began. But he says the biggest improvement is his mental coach.
Thank you very much.
Hey Emiliano, Tanai again from MMA Island. I wanted to ask you, how's it going to be fighting without fans? And if you had a chance to catch the PFL 1, what did you make of the whole setup and the setting that day?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, I was going to ask how he feels fighting without the fans, as well as if he was able to watch the fights from PFL 1. What does he think about the setup and the situation there?
Los fanáticos en el arena y si ya viste cómo está todo puesto la jaula y qué piensas de cómo está el escenario.
I like a cage. It's a big show, but for real, in the fight, for me, it's fans or no fans, it's same. In the cage, me, my opponent, and my ref.
Thank you, Emiliano. Good luck.
Thank you.
Any other additional questions for Mr. Sorty? No. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we have Vinny. Please raise your questions if you have, please raise your hand if you have any questions for Vinny. Let's go ahead and start with Mason.
Hi, Vinny. This is Mason from the Esports Sesh podcast. I just wanted to know, you've fought for a very long time now and you've had plenty of wins throughout your career. What would a PFL title mean to yourself?
I mean, that's like my third shot, right? So it does mean a lot. It means a lot. It's pretty much what I said, like in my second season competing for PFL. At this point, it's not even about the money. It's really about the title. It's been the same way since like the second season. Of course, like, $1 million, it's a decent amount of money. It's not an amount of money that's gonna like last for your whole life. Of course, if you make the right investment, you could last for your whole life, But it's really not about the money at this point. That's my third shot. I feel like I'm getting close, like to stop fighting. It's not like I'm planning on it, but I just feel like I'm not gonna be one of those guys fighting some 40, 42, and then so the window's closing. So like I feel like that's one of like my last opportunities, and I want to get the best of it.
And how has life in the PFL bubble been for yourself?
That's a good question. It's again, like for me, it's not the first time being like trapped in a place. I was an adult fighter for 6 weeks with like a bunch of dudes, guys that I had to fight. Pretty much like sharing like a bedroom with the guys that I had to fight. And it was a little bit easier back then because I didn't have family. I was a single guy, like, no family, like in the States, period. Like, no wife, no kids. And years later now I have like my kids, I have my wife. So it's tough to be away from the family. But overall, we were able to manage all the training here. I got good training like during this period. So like I can't complain. It's been good, I've been able to like keep my diet on track. I was able to like do my 2-3 sessions a day while like in the bubble. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all.
Thank you for your time, and can't wait to see you fight come Thursday night.
Can you repeat that one?
I just wanted to say thank you for your time, and I can't wait to watch you come Thursday night.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Up next, let's go with Drew Pierce.
Hey, Vinny, Drew Pierce, FightLeague.com. Do you think having, the experience you have in PFL gives you any sort of edge over the competition, especially those who are just now making their promotional debut?
I feel like just the experience overall, like sometimes gives us a certain advantage. Like I don't get nerves anymore. Like on fight week, I don't get nerves anymore. Like preparing for a fight, even though for this one I had like literally like 4 weeks to train for, which was probably like my shortest training camp like in my career. But I don't feel like as far as the promotion itself, it doesn't give me any advantage, especially because this year the format has changed. On the previous seasons, pretty much if you scored first round win with 6 points, you're guaranteeing yourself in the playoffs. That's just how it went. Like, this year is completely different. You could get 6 points. If everybody else gets 6 points now, things are a little bit tighter compared to like what it was like in the previous season. Only 4 guys qualified this year to the playoffs. So things are going to be a little more difficult. One thing though, like, in the last card, we had like a bunch of decisions. So for guys like myself, who are normally like going for finishes, that might give some edge. But as far as experience, I don't know. It all depends on like if you look at like the roster this year, a lot of guys have like a ton of experience, like especially like in big promotions. So I don't know. If you count my fights on tough, like I have 35 fights, so I'm probably one of the guys that have the most amount of fights besides maybe Kamosi. I don't know how many fights he's had, but he has a ton of fights too. So I'm one of the most experienced guys, so that gives me a little edge just because I just feel comfortable now fighting. Some guys still like feeling really nervous, like on fight week. My opponent has like 11, 12 fights. I'm sure that for him, like, it's gotta be like a rough week.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Up next, Dylan.
Hey there, Vinny. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm just kind of curious because, the last time I'm seeing you competed in MMA was October 2019, but keeping active on the submission underground circuit as of late. Like, how do you feel getting back to a competitive MMA framework here?
Well, I've been begging for my manager to give me fights like through this whole period. Like for me, I was just trying to stay busy with grappling. As a matter of fact, that's what I was getting ready for. That's why I was a little bit heavier and everything over the last few weeks, because like I was planning on competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments since I didn't have anything contract to fight MMA. But since last year, I was asking my manager to give me a fight. I want to fight. I've been ready to fight, like I would say, since my last one. I was not with PFL. I didn't have a contract with PFL. So for me, it was looking to fight anywhere. not ready to get any like locked in any contract. I really just want to be a free agent, getting fights as much as I could. Unfortunately, things didn't happen. But fortunately, I got back with PFL, which is like a promotion I have always, like fighting for since like World Series days. And then it's good to be back. Even though it was like the 4 weeks thing, it's still good to be back.
Yeah, and you touched on it too with the long history in the promotion, and you've had a good couple runs in the tournament structure, even getting to the finals in 2018 there. I'm kind of curious, is there a level of redemption heading into this upcoming season here, or is it just like a clean slate? You're not looking at the prior season backdrop there?
Like I was just saying, it's a different format this year. For me, like, PFL, it's that thing. You're not just going fight for fight. You have to, right? Like, got to focus like each fight at a time. But you're not here just to fight and see how it goes. Like, you really think about like the big prize. And like I was just saying, like a couple of questions ago, like for me, like, I'm not one of those guys. I don't have like 10 years of like fighting anymore. So for me, it's like, every opportunity that I have, like I gotta get the best of it. And so I feel like that's my shot. Like I would say that winning like this season, I will have to like think if I'm gonna go for another one, if I'm gonna stop fighting. It's one of those things that I don't have any reason to stop fighting. I feel like healthy, like I'm feeling good, like physically, mentally, and all that. But I'm just not one of those guys that plan on fighting until like I'm 42, 45. It's just not my thing. I gotta think of like my brain health too. It's not just about like being like physically fit and things like that. I got my kids and I want to like enjoy time with them too. And when I'm in training camps, it's really rough, like to spend time with the family. So I'll do as much as I can, but I'm not going to be there for much longer. So every opportunity that I have with PFL, it's always been, hey man, I make that 1 million. Let's see how it goes. Maybe go for another one, but most likely if it's maybe one, maybe two, and then I'm done.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, man.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go with Alex, Cage Tag Press.
Hi, Benny. It's Alex from Cage Tag Press. I was just wondering if you had the chance to see your former Ultimate Fighter castmate Tom Lawler in the hotel at all.
We actually have been sharing like the workout room sometimes. Me and Tom, like, we're good friends. So that's a fight that I want to make sure if it has to happen, like it's got to be in the final. That I don't want to fight Tom. He doesn't want to fight me. We are good friends. It's not just like we not just know each other. We are good friends.
Awesome, and good luck.
Thank you.
Head Kick Audio.
All right. Hey, how's it going, Vinny? This is Steve from Head Kick Audio. On my show, I interview a lot of fighters. And outside the bubble, it seems like you've been getting a lot of work with a lot of fighters. That leads me to my question for you is, what kind of adjustments and new looks are you getting that you think are going to help you through this tournament?
Well, as far as adjustments, like I don't try to keep secrets. There's no secrets. Of course, like I always try to improve like the things that I'm not that good at, or maybe not as good as my jiu-jitsu with. That's always my number one thing. Everybody knows there's no secret about that. But of course, trying to improve like my striking, my wrestling. I feel like the main thing that people overlook sometimes, everybody talks about striking. For me, I feel like people overlook the wrestling part of it, because I feel like I don't have to land those punches, but if I can make my wrestling work once the fights are on the ground, like as you guys see, like I'm most of the time finishing the fight. So I've definitely been trying to improve my wrestling. Conditioning is the thing, like it's like if once you start to wrestle, like if you fail those takedowns, you start to get tired, then things usually go really bad like your way. So overall game, like you got to improve, and including my jiu-jitsu, I got to just make more efficient. And but a whole year that he had like that nobody fought, like especially people that were already like under contract with PFL. I was in a different situation. I didn't have a contract. I was trying to get fights, so I was training. I was trying to improve my game, and I don't know what I'm gonna bring. I got to get a real fight, and on Thursday I'm gonna get a real fight, and I'm gonna see like where I'm at. When it comes down to like a fight. As far as training, I've been feeling pretty good. I feel like everything has improved over time, but things are completely different when you're actually looking at a real situation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Hey, Vinny, Tanai from MMA Island. How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good, pretty good.
So I asked Jordan the same question. You obviously have 16 submissions and Jordan has 9 in his MMA career. To be fair, he said that you have the better jiu-jitsu game, but he also said that he has the better overall game. What do you think? Who has a better ground game and overall game?
I don't want to be like, I don't want to be rude, but like, of course I have the better jiu-jitsu game. It's not even like comparable, but it's funny to say the overall game. It's just ridiculous when people come up like, well, I fight Vina, have the overall game. It's easy to say that. What are they gonna say? They're gonna just make themselves like sound stupid, saying that they have the better jiu-jitsu game. They won't say that, right? So they have to say, oh, I have the overall game. How many people has ever knocked down? I haven't watched these fights. I haven't ever seen knocking down anybody or knocking out anybody, right? I do have like 3 knockdowns, plus I think like 4 TKO or KO finishes. He has none. There have been fights that I've like dropped people with punches, and then I finished it with submission. 2 of them actually. So it's one of those things. Yeah, like Vinny's a jiu-jitsu guy. No, Vinny's not a jiu-jitsu guy. Vinny's just a better jiu-jitsu guy than I am. So I have to have something else to beat him, and that's pretty much the same talk that I've been hearing like through my whole career.
Sounds good, man. Can't wait to see you guys go after it on Thursday. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Vinny. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. You've had
Hey, Mike,
eight.
how's it going?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Superb. 18 of your 19 wins have come via stoppage. And as you mentioned, there's been some changes in the PFL tournament formula. Do you feel any extra pressure to go out and get a finish on Thursday night?
I mean, like it's just in my style. Like I always try to look for a finish. I have won, I believe like maybe 2 fights. I have won 1 fight by decision. Like it happens to be one that I won like with striking, but it's just not my way like to fight. And I'm always chasing a finish. It happened like a few times like by like striking, mostly by submission, and that's just the way I like. It's just like it's an overall thing that's better. It saves you energy, like avoids like. It doesn't like allow you to take much like punishment. Like you don't have to do a lot of like damage to your opponents either. Not like I care about my opponents, but it's just the whole thing. It keeps you fresh, so you can get ready for the next one. As far as PFL, in 5 weeks or 5.5 weeks, I'm gonna have to be coming back, and I can do another fight, right? So going for a finish is always important. So you can just get back home, like maybe take 1 or 2 days to rest and get back in the gym. So. It's just not my thing to have to go like 3 rounds, 2-3 rounds, because it could mess you up for your next fight, especially in this kind of format, and it could keep you out of the gym for like a week or maybe 2. It depends if you get any kind of like serious injury, and that's not going to be good for the rest of the season. So I'm always going to keep chasing like a finish. If it's either a knockout or a submission, I don't know. You'd always like try to like look for whatever's available for you, but. It's just my style. It's been like, even if it wasn't like in a PFL format, that would always be my style.
Great. Good luck for Thursday.
Thank you.
Breeze.
Hey, Vinny, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. I wanted to ask, you touched on it a little bit before, but with grappling getting so popular these days and all the platforms like Submission Underground and Who's Number One, after your fighting career, do you see yourself competing in grappling for a long time to come, or will we see you kind of just take a back seat and just stay in the gym?
I don't know. I'm a competitor. To be honest, I had a little downtime last year. I was trying to get fights. That's one thing that really gets me motivated. The only thing that keeps me like 3 times a day in the gym is if I'm training for a MMA fight. If it is grappling, I just don't have the same drive anymore. A good thing when I got the call from Ray Selfo for this fight is that I was getting ready to get a rematch against Gordon Ryan in the end of May. So I was training. I was doing strength conditioning. I was grappling like every night. So I was training. I would go to Extreme Couture and Sparta maybe once or twice a week. So I was doing some training, but it's different. I don't have the same drive. So for me, in order for me to stay in the gym after I'm done fighting, it's gonna be tough. I would have to compete, of course. Otherwise, I'm not gonna go to the gym at all. I'm gonna just do in order to stay healthy, but it's not gonna be 2-3 times a day. For me now, I got to a point that if I am in the gym, it is to for a goal. It is for a competition. It is to get result from something I'm training for. I can do just for the fun anymore, or the fun of it anymore. I would rather spend time with the family, if I have that free time.
Awesome. And last from me, you touched on it, Gordon Ryan. He just signed with ONE FC. If you had the opportunity present itself here to grapple with him for a contest or to fight him in MMA and welcome him into the mixed martial arts realm, which would you prefer to do?
I was supposed to rematch him like end of May. That was supposed to be for who's number one. He had a deal like pretty much done. Like he just didn't sign the contract. Because the day that I was gonna sign the contract, that's the day I got the call from Ray, and I didn't even think twice. You know, I was gonna get a good amount of money for that rematch, but it's not even comparable to what I'm getting from PFL. And then again, PFL is not even just about the money. It's that's the only thing that keeps him in the gym, like training, like like a professional. I cannot train like a professional for grappling anymore. I don't have that drive. There's no money like for it. There's no like I don't have that kind of. I mean, I'm one of those guys that has to win like 10 world titles to prove himself. I've won ACC. That's the biggest thing like you can win like in grappling. That's like win the Olympics, right? And I'm not one of those guys that need to chase like 10 ACC gold medals to say there he's like one of the best. I feel like I'm one of the best. Like even though I won one gold medal and like 4 bronze medals, it's just that's me winning these medals without even training like nothing but grappling, like most of these guys do. So like I've proven myself as being one of the best. So I don't feel like I have to keep doing it anymore. So the Gordon Rao rematch, it kind of gave me some type of incentive, not just because of the money, but also because well he's the best guy in the world right now. So I do want to compete against the best guy in the world. But if you're gonna give me some random dude just to go against, I'm not gonna train for it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
How you doing, Vinny? It's Tariq from the Havoc Hour. So you've been a champion in other promotions before. We've seen that. And now here in this platform, with having come so close on 2 separate occasions now, as like you said, this is your 3rd chance at it. Do you feel that you have to win it all this season, or do you feel like this is just something you want to accomplish?
I feel like everybody has the mentality that I had to win, and especially if you look at the roster this year, I have a ton of experienced guys that have fought like in big promotions, and so everybody has a mentality they feel like they have to win. As a matter of fact, when you're a competitor, if they put you like in a bracket, you only see yourself winning. No matter who's around you, no matter who like you're going against, you always believe that you're the best. That's the competitor mindset. But as far as me having my 3rd shot, I just feel like when I look like the bracket, I always believe that I have the capability of beating any of these guys. There's Emiliano, like one of the toughest guys like in the division. I've gone against him. I had like a horrible performance against him. But of course, if you look at like how he did that season 2, he just like smashed everyone and made it look easy too. So maybe underperformed, maybe he just overperformed, maybe the guy deserved like everything he got that year. But it's like when I look around, I see Emiliano like as one of the toughest challenges, and everybody else sees the same way, like everybody believes that they can win too. So I don't feel like I have an obligation, but in my mind, I do have to win, and that has nothing to do with because I got so close a couple of times. It's just because the reason I'm here is to win the whole thing.
Thanks a lot. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vinny. We'll see you on Thursday.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I was so thirsty. Like I was so dry. Done?
Good afternoon, guys, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, up next we have Curtis. Please raise your hand if you have a question for Curtis. Let's go ahead and start with Andrew.
Hey Curtis, Andrew with MMA Sucka. I'm just curious to know, how do you feel coming into this PFL? I don't know if you've ever done tournament type matches before. If you haven't, how do you feel about this the structure and format?
I'm very excited about the structure. 4 fights, $2 million. It don't get no better than that.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Next question, Harry.
Hey Curtis, Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. So I just wanted to ask you, hypothetically, if somebody owned some signed Curtis Millender memorabilia and you were to go on and win the PFL welterweight title, not only would you win 7 figures, do you think maybe also hypothetically those people would make some money too?
Exactly, man. It's the price is definitely going to shoot up on the Curtis Millender stock after this.
It's good to know. Good to know. And speaking of the price shooting up, you're a plus 360 underdog right now in Vegas going into this fight. So do you feel disrespected like that at all? Do you feel like people maybe aren't giving you enough credit coming into this fight?
No, I don't take it as disrespect at all. He's done a lot in the sport. I still have a lot to do in the sport. I just have to, show them that they need to work on them odds, and anybody that cashes in on me, I need my 10%.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. And I'd also like to tell you that your Instagram makes me laugh very regularly. But good luck on
Awesome.
Thursday.
Thank you.
Up next, let's go with Chris Santiago.
Hi, Curtis. Chris from MMA Island here. You and Rory are both coming from Bellator. So, what can you say about his time in Bellator and especially his title reign?
I wouldn't say he had the most exciting run in Bellator, where he had a draw and a few and mostly decisions. So I wouldn't say it was the best Rory we've ever seen. He had some success because he won the belt there, but the Rory that was exciting and of the past, the UFC Rory, that's the one. That's the Rory that I want on Thursday.
Got it. And do you think this is the biggest fight of your career so far?
Oh, definitely, hands down, the biggest fight of my life. So I'm ready to go and cash in and make the most of it.
Thanks, Curtis. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Up next, Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Curtis, how you doing?
Great, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I just want to ask you this question for yourself. As everyone knows who Rory McDonald is, he has his name has been on the game for on the game for so long. How do you keep in your mind not the name, but just look at him as a fighter?
I look at everybody as everybody's a man. Everybody I fight is a man. He has 2 arms, 2 legs. I just gotta go out there and do what I'm confident in myself in doing, and it's gonna be just like I want it to be. Go out there and be dominant and finish Rory.
And since you will be on ESPN2, for the new fans who will check it out, what do they need to know who Curtis is?
Man, high level striking, crazy speed, and crazy creativity in there.
That's all we need to know. We'll see you then.
Hi, Curtis. Hamad Mia from MMA Diagnosis. I was just wondering, when you got that call from the PFL, I mean, Rory McDonald main event and a chance to win $1 million this year, what was going through your head?
Dream fight, dream money, dream opportunity, and just got to make it a reality. I've always wanted to fight Rory. I've always seen myself beating Rory for years, so it was a surprise, of course, but I wasn't shocked. I didn't get nervous. This is what I wanted.
Do you feel like Rory's the number 1 seed in this kind of welterweight
Absolutely
division?
not.
Right.
It's the disrespect that they're giving Ray Cooper right now is crazy. He's a champ. He should be the number 1 seed. But I'm gonna beat both of them. So to me, I'm the number 1 seed.
All right. Thank you, Curtis. Good luck for your fight.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, Curtis? How you doing?
I'm great, already like yours. Head kick audio. That's right up my alley.
That's it, buddy. Okay, so we know that you bring a fan-friendly fighting style, with your fights. And we know that sometimes you've struggled with wrestlers and grapplers. So in this time off, before you got the opportunity to step in here for PFL, have you shored any of that up? And, what are you looking for this season?
Yes, I definitely did. I went out and spent 2 months in Arizona at Fight Ready with Eric Anders, helping him get ready for his last fight. And you guys know who Eric, he's a big dude. So his game plan was to get a lot of takedowns in his fight. So I spent 8 weeks getting pushed and bullied around by by Eric Anders, and there's a few other guys out in Arizona, Ray Waters, Ryder Newman, who's actually on the Ultimate Fighter this season, that were really helping me out, pushing me, and then of course my team back home at CSW. So I'm just I got to go out there and show that I've been working on those things. I had to get back to the roots because I started with wrestling. So it's no excuse why I should be, having these guys getting these takedowns and just holding me down. But it did also help me because if they're going to take me down and just hold me down, I know there's that fear in their heart because standing up with me is just a different animal.
Thank you very much, sir. And Ray Waters is a stud.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, this is Breeze with the MMA Breeze. So, like you said, getting back to your grappling, what do you think is your best path to victory against Rory McDonald here with this fight? You said you spent a lot of time with your grappling. Of course, that's going to be anticipated. Are you looking to show off your improvements, or would you rather just get in there, knock him out, and get out?
Oh, definitely get in there and knock him out and get out. But it can possibly be a time where he can get close enough to try, and I'm just gonna stuff him and beat him up. That's all it is. Stuff those shots, make him die for things, make him desperate for those takedowns. I have to put that fear in his heart with my striking to where he's diving and doing anything he can for those takedowns. So we can get a highlight reel knockout from him being desperate.
And do you feel any pressure with a big name like Roy McDonald to finish this with a highlight reel?
Not really, no pressure. Like I said, I've always wanted to fight him and I've always seen myself beating him. But, I debuted in the UFC against Thiago Alves, and Thiago Alves was one of my heroes growing up in this fight game. And you seen what I did to him. So like the name means nothing. The person means nothing. I'm going out there to beat him up just like I would do anybody else.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey there, Curtis. How's it going?
Great, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. I was just kind of curious because in our prior interview, we were kind of talking about how you were the matchmaker at Fight Club OC for a period. Just with this PFL welterweight field here, can you put on the matchmaker hat a little bit and talk about your thoughts on some of these different matchups in the welterweight ranks?
I've been so focused on this fight that I don't know really who's fighting who outside of Ray Cooper and I believe the guy from France, correct?
Yeah.
I like Ray Cooper, and I think that fight next for me will be awesome just because I would love to take out the best two guys in the tournament in the season first. And but the tall guy from Sweden, that's like that fight really intrigues me. I would love to fight with him too.
Up next, Roz.
Hey, how are you? This is Raz from Everything MMA Era. So, just kind of touching on this Rory fight. What do you think kind of separates you from Rory on Thursday night, and how do you see the fight ending?
Definitely would knockout or TKO. The difference is the speed and the ability I have with my lead hand as far as how creative my jab is and how fast my cross is. If he hasn't fixed that head movement thing, I don't even see him making it to the June fight because I'm coming to smash that nose all the way up.
Okay, and then following up on that, how do you see that speed going against Roy Cooper?
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
So just kind of to follow up on that in terms of kind of what separates you from it. So how would you see kind of these attributes and everything you've went through against Ray Cooper in a potential fight?
I think it's worse for him because he has to come to me, and he showed in his fights where he'll die for those takedowns. He'll football tackle to get those double legs. I'm waiting for that. That's a fastball straight down the plate. I'm knocking that out the park.
Okay. Well, best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Up next, Alex, Cage Side Press.
Hi, Curtis. It's Alex from K-Side Press. Do you think that you staying active and fighting twice in 2020 will give you an advantage over Rory, who was on the sidelines?
I'm not a huge believer in ring rust, but uh, definitely how his last fight ended and him having that year off. He probably got a lot of time to heal up the little nagging injuries. So I'm sure he's gonna come out and put his all, but his all isn't gonna be enough.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Mason?
Hi, Curtis. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How are you doing today?
I am great, sir.
That's great to hear. Obviously, as we all know, your opponent Rory has been in some of the greatest fights we've seen, most notably in his second fight with Robbie Lawler. Knowing that your opponent has been through these wars, does that make any more pressure to yourself?
No, not at all, because I always prepare for war. Like, I'm always prepared to go to war, but I say it all the time. I am a sniper on the top of the bell tower. I'm not going in there for war. I'm trying to land these shots, not get touched, and put you down. So seeing him going through those wars, that means I'm just gonna be able to shoot him a whole lot.
And what would a PFL title mean to yourself?
Man, it'll mean the world, man. Just the title, the money. It's a blessing. Like this, those are things my family needs right now, my legacy needs right now. So it'll mean a lot.
Thank you, sir, and I can't wait to see you come fight night.
Thank you.
Drew?
Hey, Curtis, Drew Pierce, FightLeague.com. What does it feel like to finally being able to make your PFL debut, and on top of it being the headlining event of the entire night?
Oh man, it's awesome. Coming up on a club show, I was always the main event. I main event at LFA a few times, but being the main event on ESPN it's a big deal, and I'm excited to go out there and display to the millions what I can do.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Tyreek?
Hey, Curtis, how you doing? This is Tariq with the Havoc Hour. Just wanted to, I heard you mention Sada Busi. He's the guy from Sweden. How you feel you match up against him?
Oh man, he's a big dude, but I've been looking at them little skinny legs. Oh, I will chew them things up.
That sounds good, man. Maybe we'll see it. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
How's it going, Curtis?
Great, sir.
From father to father, congrats on that third son of yours. How's that affected your camp right now?
It not too much. He comes to the gym with me, and then this whole distance learning thing. Anyway, my boys, they're not in school the whole time, so I have my 10-year-old and my 6-year-old with me to help out and help them out at the gym. So we just lock them in the cage and go to training. I mean, all three of my sons have been gym babies, so I've been doing this for a long time. So we have a routine.
That's beautiful. So you actually mentioned work with Eric out at Fight Ready. So is that where most of your camp has been spent for this one as well?
No, I was already back home, and I took the opportunity, not really on short notice, but I had for 2 weeks. I thought I was just an alternate, so I was just getting ready at home. I did fly down to Arizona to get some sparring in. I went to go work with Ray Waters. Nice. And then I came back up, and the next week they told me that I was officially in. So most of my camp has been here in Atlanta City for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Congrats on everything for the last year. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello, Curtis. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. In your opinion, where do you think you have the biggest advantage over Rory McDonald in terms of MMA skill sets?
Just definitely standing in that range. Actually, and standing at range or in the pocket. I believe I'm very, very, very nasty inside the clinch, inside of range, short distances, uppercuts and hooks. For a tall guy, I'm really good, and that just goes to idolizing guys like Floyd, who can hit you at any distance. So definitely standing.
Best of luck for Thursday night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Curtis. I appreciate you coming out today.
No problem. You guys have a great day.
You too. All right. We have Mr. Rory.
Oh, yeah.
All right, please raise your question. Please raise your hand if you have a question for Rory. All right, let's go ahead and start with Alex, Cage Side Press.
Hey, Rory, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. So I guess I just wanted to start. You're coming up on your 5-year anniversary with your fight with Robbie Lawler. And I mean, many people think that's the best fight of all time. I guess I wanted to ask you, do you see that as the best fight of all time?
It's probably up there, I guess. There's been so many good ones, but I appreciate people who who like that fight. Obviously, would have been nice to be on the winning side of it, but it goes down in some kind of history of the sport, and it propelled my name in the sport, so I'm grateful for it.
Awesome, and good luck.
Up next, Daniel.
Hey, Rory, this is Daniel from Cage My IQ. Being it as you're one of the biggest signees in PFL history, what have you done to get ready for your fight? And then how do you feel about the format that enticed you to sign with PFL?
Yeah, so I recently went down to Sanford MMA to train for this upcoming fight. I've been doing a lot of work at TriStar and with my kickboxing coach, Crew Ash in Montreal. But about a month before my training camp, I had moved to Sanford because where I'm living, they really shut down everything because of COVID. So I wasn't able to train for a fight there. So I've been doing my preparation there at Sanford, and it went really well, feeling good, and looking forward for the season. Sure.
Next question will be from Harry Mack.
Hey, Rory, Harry Mack from the Bookies Basement. I hope all is well. So you kind of touched on it just now a little bit, but so Faraz Zahabi has been very vocal lately about, I guess what he views as kind of excessive police visits and restrictions from the government there. So I guess I just kind of wanted your personal take on the situation.
Yeah, I think that the government in Canada is really overreaching their power, and they're trying to make a lot of changes to our country, and there hasn't been much resistance. So there's been a lot of changes happening in my country for the worse, in my opinion. It's pretty upsetting.
Got it. Well, thank you very much. Best of luck on Thursday.
Thanks.
Up next, Breeze.
Hey, Rory, this is Breeze from the MMA Breeze. Wanted to ask you, in coming to the PFL, did you consider any other organizations? And if so, what brought you to the PFL specifically overall?
I was considering all organizations. What the deciding factor for me was the financial aspect of it. PFL presented the best offer and is the best contract of my career thus far. So I was very excited to move with them. And, besides that being the main reason, I really was intrigued by the format. I liked, the fact that I would be busy. I would know my schedule for the year. And also, I feel like the growth of PFL in the next couple of years is gonna really rise to the top of the top echelon promotions in this sport.
Right on. Thanks so much, Rory. Good luck with the tournament.
Thanks.
Up next, Brady Austin.
Hi, it's Brady Austin from Behind the Grind. And have you made any switches in training after you figured out that you'd be fighting Curtis Millender on short notice?
Not really that much. You know, he's a taller guy, so just more mentally, you know, making my adjustments because I know, you know, through years of experience of how to fight, you know, taller kickboxers and things like that. So there wasn't really a lot of time to adjust. I think it was a couple weeks ago that they announced it, but the work was pretty much done at that point. But I'm very confident in my ability to adjust on the fly. So those kind of like opponent changes, doesn't really affect me because I feel very confident fighting a broad range of different styles.
Thanks, Rory. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Dylan.
Hey there, Rory. How's it going?
Good. You?
I'm doing well, thanks. But you were kind of talking about that confidence, just being able to fluidly adapt with whoever you're getting out there to fight. Is that part and parcel with just like the multitude of bodies and styles that you get to work with at Sanford MMA there?
Yeah, and just over the years, you know, of training for, I think I've been training now in mixed martial arts for like 17 years. So you come across all different body types and styles. I've fought quite a bit of different martial arts styles. So, you know, with that experience, been able to feel pretty comfortable adapting to them.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like per your social media, very family oriented. Has this bubble experience been a great deal difficult being away from the family? And just as a broader question, how has the bubble experience been overall?
Well, I've handled it pretty well. I made sure that mentally going into it, I was ready for this. I wanted to make sure that I had a positive mind frame on it and not to bring in any negativity into it because I feel like dwelling on those kind of things will not be beneficial for me. So I wanted to make myself, even before I got here, prepared mentally to go through it. So I've been flying through it with ease. My preparation for it was good, and yeah, obviously I miss my family, but I'm here to do my job, and I'm focused on that.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Rory.
Barcelona.
Hey, Rory, I was just curious if you could expand a little bit more about being at Sanford MMA, that tremendous newer facility, and also if you had any conversations with Robbie or did even any sparring with Robbie since he's there as well.
Yeah, Sanford's amazing gym. Best facility I've been to by far. They have everything a professional athlete could ever want. So I've been very blessed to be able to train there. Henry, Greg, Kami, all the coaches, the fighters, everybody's been great, welcoming. They're a hardworking team, and it's been a pleasure to prepare for a fight with them. And the facility obviously has just been amazing because, you know, able to have everything we need under one roof. As far as conversation with Robbie, yeah, we talk quite a bit. Super down to earth guy, regular conversation, nothing too fight oriented. And yeah, I think we've done some training together. Not much, but we have done a little bit.
Well, I know you guys with the eating, you have to be careful when you're getting ready for fights, but have you checked out Doris's Italian Market yet in Coral Springs or Boca?
No, not yet.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Roy, how are you doing?
Doing good.
You have been you have been in the fight game for so long, and it's always hard, as they say, to keep the fire burning. So with yourself in a new company, how have you been able to keep yourself motivated through this?
Well, thankfully, I'm remotivated, goal-oriented, and focused on getting to that goal. For about a couple years prior to signing with PFL, I had kind of been going through a slump of losing that fire, the desire to train, desire to fight, but I was going through the motions. But I thank God that, kind of around when COVID hit, beginning of 2020, I found, new inspiration in the sport. I found my desire to achieve something, to set a goal and go forward, and that's been my motivation, figuring out my why. Why am I doing this?
Thank you very much.
Christy Santiago.
Hi, Roy. Chris from MMA On here. Your former UFC compatriot Anthony Pettis made his PFL debut last week. Can you give me your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, I thought it wasn't his best performance. Clay got in his face and really put the pressure on him for the first 2 rounds. He was able to come back strong in the third and land that big head kick, but it seemed to me that he was waiting too much. I don't know what the factor is, why he wasn't pulling the trigger as much, or if he was looking for a big flashy knockout. But Clay brought it to him, got in his face, and made it a really difficult fight for him. So just shows you can't sleep on anybody. Coming from a big organization like UFC, you got to fight everybody as if it was your championship fight.
Got it. And before the fight, he said that he said that he's most definitely gonna go up to 170. So do you think that fight would interest you in the future? And do you think that you would entertain that fight as a super fight?
Absolutely, I would be interested in that. When he first signed, I thought he was going to be at 170. I thought that was going to be a great addition, but he bounces between the two. So, if next year he decides to go to 170 for PFL, absolutely, I think that would be a great matchup.
Awesome. God bless you.
Head Kick Audio.
Hey, Rory, this is Steve from Head Kick Audio. You've been in a lot of great fights, a lot of wars, and with that comes damage. So over the past, year during your, COVID break, have things healed up, and are you excited to make your PFL debut?
I'm healthy as a horse. I had the best shape of my life, mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm rock solid. So I thank God for my health and the position I'm in right now.
Thank you very much, sir.
Suki.
How's it going, Rory? Fellow Canadian here. So you kind of talked about how you had to leave home, TriStar, and even spend more time at Sanford. I mean, do you see this having a long-term effect with COVID and kind of the bigger gyms with good athletes and all these new, facilities? Do you see that having a long-term effect, with GSP and you, such pioneers for us over here?
I'm not sure I understand the question. What is stretching out long-term?
Sorry, just, with the idea that COVID and even kind of the bigger gyms that we have going on in the States, do you see that having some kind of an effect on, long-term gyms over here that, had so much success with fighters like GSP, yourself, and maybe now it's a little bit harder for fighters to kind of make their way out of there with COVID, and even now some of the bigger gyms where they kind of can poach some of our better fighters just because they have the training partners, the facilities, things like that?
Well, COVID's just slamming the brakes on our entire country. We have no economy, and they're really putting pressure on gyms to stay closed. So I think that's it's an issue that as Canadians we all need to be worried about. What's really going on behind the scenes? What's their agenda? And all this, we've seen a lot of success from the places that have opened up and have went back to normal life, and I hope the same thing for Canada soon. But
thank you, Rory. Thanks for everything you've done for the sport over here.
To answer your question, it's really going to depend on the restrictions. When things are going to start opening up, so people can get their businesses back opened up, and it goes for the gyms too.
Thanks, Rory.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Rory. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. You've been one of the best welterweights on the planet for over a decade now. With that being said, how do you view the standard of the PFL welterweight tournament this season?
I'm very confident. I think they did a great job with getting some of the best talent around the world. I'm super excited to compete against all of them, and I do feel that I will be the champion at the end of the season, though.
And out of interest, is there somebody who you look at in the weight class who you think could potentially be your toughest test?
Well, it's hard to say. Everybody poses their own dangers, you know. I just try to focus on my own ability and fighting my own fight, and take it as it is. You know, we see guys all the time take certain people too lightly and not fight them hard enough, and they lose the upsets, lose an upset fight to them. So I try not to do that. I take everybody as my championship fight.
Thank you for the time, Rory.
Nadeem.
Hi, Rory. It's Hamad Mir from MMA Diagnosis. You were talking about the schedule in the PFL that appealed to you. I was just wondering, knowing that if you win each fight, you guaranteed got 4 fights within the year, how do you kind of change your training in a sense to occur so that you may not get injury? As in a typical organization, you may fight once a year and then you don't know when you're fighting next. How do you kind of adjust?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's just being able to be consistent in the training room, being able to set a certain pace and tempo in the room, and not having, not doing things stupidly or trying to take too many risks in the training room either. Just consistent work, staying healthy, and peaking for those fights, rather than massive peaks and valleys and taking time off in between fights and things like that.
Following up to that, obviously this season they don't have the 2 fights in one night format. Is that something as a competitor you're looking forward to, or is it kind of a relief that you don't get to fight twice in one night?
Yeah, it's something I recently just found out. I actually didn't even know that. So yeah, I was a little disappointed because it's something that, you know, would have been a new thing in my career to test myself, but you know, it's just going to be another normal fight for me. So it's all good either way.
Thank you, Roy, for the time. Good luck for your fight.
Thanks.
All right, let's take 2 more. Tariq.
Hey, doing, Roy? It's Tariq with the Havoc Hour. So obviously, you were the first major signing, and there was a lot of notoriety with that. So with that, also, the inactivity, not being able to fight last season, and also we saw Anthony Pettis' debut getting spoiled. Do you feel any added pressure going into your debut on Thursday?
No, not at all. I'm really happy to be here and very hungry to get after it. It's been a long time coming. I've put a lot of work and sacrifice over 2020 and the early part of this year. So I'm kind of used to long layoffs anyway in my career, unfortunately. So nothing really new for me. I'm just going to go out there and do my best.
And also, really quick, we mentioned all the accomplishments that you had, that amazing fight with Robbie Lawler, being a champion in Bellator. Where would winning the PFL championship rank in your accomplishments for you?
It's up there at the top with winning, my championship at Bellator and, my run in the UFC. It would be right up with all those,
All right. Thanks a lot, Rory. Good luck this Thursday.
Thank you.
Last question. Drew Pierce, please.
Hey, Rory, Drew Pierce, FightLeap.com. Is there a certain aspect of Curtis's game that you really have your eye on in preparation for the fight? And do you have an official prediction as to how it'll go?
Yeah, I'm looking to, stop him as early as I can, try to rack up as many points as possible. But that being said, I'm not going to rush anything either. I'm just going to fight my fight and see how it goes. Curtis is, he's an excellent striker, very dynamic kickboxing game. So I'll just make sure to stay away from all his best options.
Thank you and best of luck.
Thanks.
All right, guys, that concludes our PFL 2 Media Day. Rory, I appreciate you making the time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
My media friends, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate all of you as well. And I will get you guys a recording later on today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.